Claudia, come up. Thank you.
Please bear with me, I'm a bit underprepared, but I'd like to briefly share some of my experiences and relate them to my ideas about, combating some of those misconceptions around poverty. So, I grew up in Smithfield. For anyone knows, a place where you see generations of unemployment and poverty, which has created a lot of really complex issues there. So, the violence has been and still is witnessed there by many of us, and we experienced it in the schools, which have a lot of issues of their own. My father, who was a labourer, died when I was little, and my mother was and still is battling a lot of issues with mental health and drug addiction, so there was no real legal work to be found for her. There's a lot I could say about growing up in that household, but I'll try to stick to the point. So, I moved out of home when I was nearly 16 and put on the independent youth, unable to live at home payment as soon as I hit the age where I could get Centrelink anyway. And so that is actually very hard to get as well. I'd like to reflect a bit on that. Like, you have to talk completely about your whole experiences, no matter how sort of complex they are and everything. And then I think I had to see a separate counsellor as well. There's a lot of paperwork, everything. So for people who are trying to do that now, it's still very tough. So my first point I want to make is about addiction. There's a big misconception about this basics card, right? And that this is going to save lives. Like, because these people who are addicted to drugs and alcohol can't spend this money, so that's going to help them, it's going to save them. I think that's really bullshit, because like that. Yeah. I'm glad you agree, because I have seen a lack of access to money destroy those people because they need other support. They need a lot more support than they're getting right now. And they definitely don't need their support to be reduced to, let's just cut off some of your money. Yeah. So a common question I get asked is, why do you talk about things like this so much? Why do you complain about them? Why do you fight for something more? You're so lucky. There's people who have it so much worse. You're lucky to have all that you do. I think the people who say this actually don't know how to feel as lucky as we have. They actually, we know how lucky we are. Imagine being so stoked to find $1 on the ground. Because you can imagine it, they can't imagine that. Sorry, I sort of checked my notes. Yeah, and by the way, when we find that $1 on the ground, we still make sure it doesn't belong to anyone around us before we take it and get it in there. So, we know how lucky we are. And, our clothes were given to us by our relatives, but who cares, they were nice clothes. And we didn't eat every day, but if we still had some of that cheap coffee left, we were still doing pretty great. And so poverty gives us an excellent understanding of how lucky we are. So now I'm even more lucky. I'm studying media and arts full time. I rent and I even drive, because yes, poor people can drive. And so I'm seeking help for my mental health issues, which I never could do before, really. And I fight for our rights alongside the most beautiful people that I've met, like activists of Adelaide. So many people here. I'm pretty damn lucky. So another thing I've been asked lately is why I help other people in poverty, giving change to homeless people, everything like that. People actually, come on, tell me, like, you're feeding a habit, they don't really need that, all of that. You know, they're just going to spend it on something frivolous and unnecessary. And I tell them that it's a bit of an emotional bias for me, because I remember someone doing that for me. When I'd have a fight with Mum, I'd run away from home, I'd need some change for the phone box. And I would never beg. And that's the funny thing too, people think it's like brave not to beg. I didn't have the guts to beg. That's actually how people should think of it. So I would like grab anything out of my bag and try to sell it to someone for money, for 50 cents. And I remember this one man gave me $1 instead of 50 cents. That's 2 phone calls. Imagine how lucky I felt. So this stranger made me feel like someone could care, and like, I don't know, like there was, you know, there are people who are willing to help, and it's possible to, I don't know, improve your situation. So I feel like if I give a homeless person this $2 that I would have spent on something frivolous and unnecessary, that might do that for them. I've forgotten. There's another point I forgot. Oh, yeah, no, there is another story. I'm sorry if I take a bit long, but I remember when this actually happened to me, because there was this homeless man in the city, and he had a sign, and he made me cry, because he had a sign saying he needed change, and he had no socks. And I remember, because when you don't have money and you get some money for food or whatever, you're not going to think to buy a necessity like shoes, you know? And people think, well, he's got some change there now, let's buy some shoes. You're not going to think about that at all, because you're not financially secure. So I went and got him these $2 socks, and he was so damn happy to see these socks. So, yeah. You see how lucky he felt for such a small thing. And that brings me to my final point, which is when people ask why you're fighting for more when you have all that you do, I say, who the hell said that we're just fighting for ourselves?